Northstar here, with another episode of my Heart's Iron 4 Gotterdammerung Let's Play. Now, a little bug I noticed here. Some of these older airframes made by Nazis, upon reload, the game is defaulted to considering to have been made by the British. That's actually an issue because if the British have made it, if it's considered, they can get air experience from their use. Although I believe they have to have an active Lend-Lease to me. So it might be irrelevant, but when my civil war erupts, if they give the other side Lend-Lease, say, there's a tiny possibility they get air experience they don't deserve. So that's a bug. It's not the only equipment it did that with either. Some of my artillery, some of my rifles. None of this was made by the British, but the game thinks it was now. That's obnoxious. There's also the still existing bug of resources go into deficit when you reload. It doesn't correctly recalculate resources sometimes for 24 hours. The devs really need to fix this crap, but they won't. Their management team doesn't give them any resources to go fix bugs hardly, and they just go produce new DLCs so they can bring more money for the managers and the stockholders. Gotta love capitalism. I'm not going to accept any of that. No iPhone, no iPhone, Venezuela nonsense. No, technological progress is inevitable. Games would have been made in, say, the Soviet Union if it survived into the computer age, which computers were just coming out as it collapsed, and America actually had a national security restriction on the sale of any computer technology there, so they weren't allowed to get tech that was developed in the West. And the US was an early innovator in that field, so it would have taken a little longer, but they would have developed their own. Tetris was actually developed in the Soviet Union. I'm sure other games would have. Not to say that management isn't always going to create pressures like that, even in a social system, but just not as bad. Probably more muted because there isn't the profit motive. Anyhow, I was also thinking about why the states that start communists automatically are Rhineland, Schleswig, and Franken. I think Franken's the one that isn't randomly generated, or maybe that's the Rhineland. I'm not sure. Nuremberg, that's where the Nazis held their giant rally. You'd think it's a fascist stronghold, but maybe it was actually a leftist one, and the Nazis held the rally there to intimidate the left. Who knows? I would have to look more into that history, see if there's any significance in this city. It could have also been before the Night of the Long Knives, when the Nazis still pretended to have some populist, left-leaning economic ideas, which they immediately abandoned once they came to power. And the Night of the Long Knives actually murdered the people who they felt were too sympathetic to the left, because Nazis are not socialists. Anyone with a brain could have told you that. Despite their name, that's just another lie of theirs. Calling themselves National Socialist, definitely not socialist. It's anybody can call themselves what they want, doesn't mean it's true. And it's not real. No, they don't even pretend. There's not one thing in their ideology that matches with Marxism. There is no common ownership of the means of production. There is no worker management. Nothing. Even the Soviet Union didn't fill all the suppositions, but the Nazis definitely didn't even come close. Now, I did notice I have these two aircraft designs, Ju-87G, which is pretty bad because it's got an anti-tank cannon, which the devs have apparently never rebalanced, and then people complain it's useless. A small bomb bay is better in every single way. Can perform a wider variety of missions, has less weight, less production cost, and exactly the same ground attack and effect on agility. The level 2 version is better, but this, the devs really should give a little more niche, like maybe give it 8.2 ground attack or something, so it's a little better than the small bomb bay. Right now it has 0 niche, and that's a problem. It's bad game design. It's probably not realistic. They really should get rid of that, but they won't because they just going to make more content while not fixing older stuff. It's not to say the new stuff doesn't add to the game, but they could get better cost efficiency if they would just fix the existing stuff first. And the Focke-Wulf 190. This is actually a pretty decent design, except that these light machine guns probably better off replaced with heavies. Although there's a role for light machine guns in terms of mass producing lots of cheaper fighters. These are definitely not cheap with their drop tanks and armor plates. This is very much the philosophy of high quality, fewer aircraft. And so probably makes sense I'd add a defensive turret to make the air defense a little higher since it already costs so much, and switch in some heavy machine guns eventually. I'll just wait to do that till after the Civil War breaks out. Actually, I shouldn't be so sure about the heavy machine guns. That's 22 weight. Oh, yeah. I could just add the light, add a heavy set of heavies and ignore the light entirely because, yeah, or could even do double up on the cannons if I wanted to switch this to light, but that wouldn't make much sense. So yeah, I guess there's no need to replace the light machine guns, and it's a decent starting point, especially if I retrofit later with the turrets and such. Conversion cost is, well, it's saying it costs something even though it hasn't been changed. Let's see. Costs 9 to add 5 worth of stuff. It's definitely not great. So yeah, unless I was desperate, sure, I'm fuel and rich in industrial production. Or, I mean, I think that doesn't cost extra rubber, so there's that factor, but still. Or aluminum for the retrofits. So, it's cheaper than it looks, but I probably want a conversion tech to improve speed before I would do it. I guess I can produce these soon. They're not a bad design, unlike this garbage. I mean, this is really stinking garbage. I'll probably create a version that has a small bomb bay, and maybe some dive brakes, you know, maybe some drop tanks. It's not great. But yeah, I might switch this production line to production of the Focke-Wulf 190 in a couple days. So let's get going, shall we? Also, political power-wise, I'm going to be doing anti-democratic raids and on-map decisions soon, all to boost communism support. But right now, I'm holding off on those. Since they'll be more effective when my communism support is already higher in terms of either giving me a finite amount of support that would be hard to get once you have more support, or redirecting support out of democratic and thus automatically proportionally to communism or non-aligned. It's not only actually increasing communism when it's already higher, but increasing it by more the more it is. So yeah, I'm waiting on those. Also, propaganda films and the Chief of the Air Force. I got things to do with my political power, if you're looking at that and wondering. 2.28 a week. It's like every 3-ish days. It's not going to get any better. I wasn't going to replace it when... Screw it. This is just a better design. You can see air attack 22, air attack 31.5. I was most of the efficiency in all of the production progress, but yeah. I won't necessarily abandon this one right away because it's got more efficiency, and I'm not going to be able to keep up this much fire production during the Civil War. I don't think I'll have enough military factories, so I might end up just leaving this in the backlog because I'll need trucks. It's not going to be a long Civil War anyways, I suppose. I've seen before with the first Civil War, all this efficiency be lost. The only thing that really saved is whatever progress. I could dial this down to one factory, stick in the bottom of the queue. The trucks I'm still short on, and tanks. So gotta get those out to the divisions. Yeah, I think, although it's going to cost me some stability, it'll get me more of my divisions, so I do need the Mossland. Holstein is more iffy. It's not even the best place. I could do Baden. Actually, it's second best only to compared to Baden for places, and when all these factors done, I'll probably be better than Baden. Alright, so yeah, I'll probably do Holstein and Holstein and the Mossland, which means I have to redeploy some divisions soon. Let's get these guys deployed already. Here, because I want a division here in both Rhine-Luneburg, or see if I can grab it and march on Rostock, which I'm growing more and more confident will not be retained. At least stick these guys here, reduce the chances this and the first infantry run it. Reduce the chances of him not rolling. Now I'll do them all. Any of the divisions, and then having a redeploy kind of waiting period, which would suck. But yeah, these divisions will at least have planning. So there's that. Similarly, these. Through there. Yep, with 6 divisions, he's got a good chance of someone staying loyal, so hell, here could also use more divisions. Given that I'm thinking these aren't going to be loyal. It's more choice of using local supply and anything else. Stick them all there. Yeah, I'll just stick along. Why not? I could be wrong. Yep. So, at least logistics, that's better. And actually, in terms of planning, well, maybe not planning, but all right. Sixth division up here. Given these guys are going to be entrenched somewhere, I'm going to be holding on to. I think it's worth doing that. Actually, let's make boom. He won't defend the actual cities. It's too imperative I don't lose them. You will. Hamburg will be well defended, as will this. I'll have some forts along here that I can fall back to if I get pushed from the east. If Mecklenburg joins the other side in the Civil War. I also put a land fort here and here. The longer term, strategically, if an enemy made a naval landing and was trying to march on Kiel, say in this marsh, if I didn't put divisions there or here, more likely, perhaps with a mobile harbor, I'd be able to defend Kiel, which controls the industry in part. I don't know if Hamburg, how many victory points? Yeah, right. They'd have to control Hamburg, but yeah, it's just Kiel's got a port, so it'd probably be a greater target. Also, if there's any way I ever got invaded from the north, say Swedish troops came rolling through here with American help, some nightmare scenario. Point is, there's reasons for it. Being said, yeah, I'm not going to fortify this border. That doesn't make sense. In the long run, I might guard the airfield and the cities, but not that. So I've got divisions digging in along the borders. And these guys, I can actually get planning on moving on that way. need men near Karlsruhe. Change of plans on that. I just can't afford such profligacy. Go there, but what they'd actually do is swing east through that. Why do I have a fort there? I don't know. This isn't important or anything. Probably a misclick at some point. So in Stuttgart, it might have been from, earlier defense that way. But yeah, if they can grab this forest before it's defended, and I'll have a fort level and all, and that'd be nice. They might be able to swing to Stuttgart. So that's the hope. I probably want someone defending mines as well. I'll just do that. Oh no, mines is another state. Shoot, well. So I might also be swinging divisions to mines. Let's see. Got divisions on that state border. Got divisions ready to march up here. Not even fully supplied. What am I doing here? Promise me here to push towards Frankfurt. Elite ones will, and the rest. We'll go up here. Sprout the supply, drain a little. Idea would be they would strategically deploy, taking the railroad across here, and then they could push on Dortmund along with the tanks rolling up towards Münster. And these, if any of them were preserved and fully trained by the time of the war, then they might defend these victory points until the infantry arrive, and then quickly move towards, again, Dortmund at all. Still not fully supplied, I see. It's too many divisions in the state. Oh, these guys aren't even fully trained. Alright. Yeah, they'll go somewhere else, hopefully. That's for them. Bring the 61st here. Oh no, they've got a reasonable. All somewhat experienced divisions, it appears. Oh, 9th and 61st will take a more defensive role up here, I guess. Maybe this push. Yeah, I gotta have men here. It's easy to forget. I can, since this is where they actually go, I can plan my own vassals, and I will do that here. Alright. It's raining. It's nice and clear here. So I did deploy these air wings in Dortmund, and they're going to start training today. Couple motorized. Can start their training. They probably won't even be fully trained by the time this is a war, but I'll try. And things get a lot better with trucks. No. So these divisions suddenly have enough. Weird. Bloody hey, that's probably too many tanks in this area anyhow. Pull a couple up here. Supply isn't great there either. Stick them here. Or defensive position where they can move back and forth as needed. Cloak and dagger, that's appropriate. I'm planning a civil war, I think. Let's see. Links there, maybe. I do hate this, but gotta manage supplies correctly. It's selling off a lot of equipment. Add some more to the list here. Let's not forget to train them like I did a second ago. Cowboys still haven't sold, so maybe I'm overestimating their popularity in selling. Well, won't overdo convoy production. Swedes want some aircraft. A decision. Yeah, I'm gonna focus on firepower because these are already incredibly expensive. Fast production would often make sense, but I'm probably going to be putting these on a handful of elite volunteer units. I'm going to be going quality over quantity with stuff. See, I'll focus on firepower. Not be worth it in a big front. You'd be better off focusing on quantity, but yeah, no, I'm not producing any artillery. I've got plenty in the stockpiles. It was a warning, but I'm not producing artillery. Also, the First Nation will probably actually need to flip some checks. They did not go communist via election. But somehow Benes got skillful diplomat. But I don't. Did he always have that? Regardless, while their communist support just keeps ticking up, this probably inhibited them enough that I'm not gonna have them wait till 45, but they'll be an easy flip. So I probably should go for them because they're easy. Hungary, also pretty easy. And then Poland, because they're going to be invaded by the Soviets. Whatever, everything is important. I just got to get it all done, which means I got to get this ideology flipped quickly. Definitely wouldn't be taking this decision. Cost political power, factories, and you lose stability just to delay the Civil War. No. Rubber problems. Let's see. 19 in... So, yeah, I should actually have enough rubber even with that. Barely. I need 20 for my production lines. I produce 3 and keep 1. Although, you know what? I'm also could have issues if I buy from Hungary. And I should have no problem flipping Sam as this neutral country. Alright, having undersupplied divisions is not great, so I'm just gonna actually shift them around. Actually, I just shifted them, but whatever. It still isn't doing it. Oh. Fine. I need these guys to have stored up supplies for the push that I make. Do you wonder if these public works things are any good? I'm about to be building civ factories again for a while, so... Not sure if it's useful to retire these characters. And we can start writing these decisions, or at least this one, for the communism support. Alright, that music is one of the most annoying songs in this game. I don't know why I just disable it. I guess it's because there's not enough other soundtracks for variety then. This would be good. Increase industrialization of Mossland, which make it a little more worthwhile to take this decision. Already fine-tune it this way because I want to take that decision in Holstein relatively soon, or at least be ready to, just in case. Yeah, actually, it'll get done on time. I'm being silly. It's almost a month per battery. What day? Alright, I'm gonna have to not run that. I actually need the taking daily communism support from the intelligence wing. I turn off the music so I could think clearly. The country has suffered greatly under rules which have, it says has not, should say have not, plural, grammar, have not had the interests of the people in their minds. To ensure we can now rebuild the nation, we must first know what we have to work with. A functional intelligence wing will be a good start. So actually, the way the Civil War slightly. Also get taking communism support, which I'm gonna need. Then this will definitely get done. The Moslem thing, it's just I'm a little nervous about the Civil War happening before I can take the on-map decisions and finish industrializing Holstein first, because it's the less industrialized of the two. I'm going to grab on-map decision once it ticks the Mossland. Yeah, and I might need this as well. These will together add 30, so 40 days. Yeah, I should have just enough time for this, and this before Civil War if I time things right. Yeah. Yeah, it's also worth noting that the more industrialized a state, the more stability you lose. So maybe I don't even want to do the Moslem thing. This will give me communism support. This will give me more units when the Civil War breaks out. And an instant communism support, and this might allow me to retain control more of the military, is my guess, as well as doing the Civil War just a little. It's too bad this isn't form intelligence agency, but Pre-deploy a couple. Make it 3 of these divisions because they actually train faster when they do exercises. Should be able to reach regular status before the Civil War. Them at least. Probably want to make the other side if the Civil War does get bogged down. Research things without bonuses. And I'm gonna need this anyhow, but or I should tech things that won't be useful to them anyway, like the Navy. Any real way. I am working on as soon as I lose the purges in the Kriegsmarine. Some new ship designs, which will have better torpedoes among many other things. Not battleships, but cruisers. I have to think longer term with the Navy anyways. Ships can take years to build, potentially. And fleets definitely take years. I didn't mind losing the old, mostly obsolete Nazi ships. Obviously try and grab everything up this Civil War, because these are newer ships, and trying to build a small modern navy. It's good for trade interdiction if I end up at war with the UK. Not useful for much else, honestly, except a bit of short bombardment. There is, I guess, trade interdiction type stuff in the Baltic too, but who would I be fighting? Sweden, I guess. Yeah, probably Sweden, mostly. Especially if they attack the Sapemi and I faction with them then. They wouldn't have any land route if I brought this puppet into the war as well. So they'd be relying entirely on sea routes for any kind of trade. Of course, the Nordic nations all get really overpowered Navy spirits. They don't have most of the Navy stuff yet. If I look over to And stuff like this. Sweden's navy hits particularly hard, so I need quality to even trade well at all. And rating is very much about trading well and interfering with resource input. Also getting war support penalties to enemy. Both are going to have nuts war support at this rate. Also strikes because they're way too low stability for the hunger shield. Oh, what's up with the rubber? Urgh. Liberia isn't. What? I can't get all three from Liberia? What? Oh, they're trading with the US. France is not going to be any kind of a threat for long enough that unless they join, they could join factions with. Anyhow, I might be able to get the Belgian Congo to rebel at some point. I don't see any ideology drift defense really. It's either that or British Malaysia, which is still a puppet of the UK. Ooh, that would be an extremely easy flip to communism. Yeah, I'll take saying spies there. No one ever thinks to do it, but it's worth it. Singapore's got most of the victory points, so. The problem is it's only got 2 states, and if you start a uprising, usually it'd be over here in North Borneo, not Singapore. Still, they might develop that state. Who knows? Of course, it might be helping the British by doing this. Bloody A. Brazil. I know they'll be neutral, not a threat for a long time. I might side with the Americans. Anything could be a threat, but do have some ideology. Drift defense wouldn't be the easiest. Unfortunately, Portugal would have gone this way, not this. They didn't take that focus, so they can't do Latin American communism. I'm thinking about it. France is always unstable. France I could flip. Let's do France. Alright. Sorry, I'm obsessing over to buy rubber from. Probably not the most exciting. Oop. Self-attack and defense. Max speed and defense. Reliability. Simplified suspension, improved tracks. Yep. Another civil war down in South Africa. This is a British puppet state, or will become. This is just British. Alright. More stuff to grow. Bomb and Bosch. They should be getting very big at this point. staying democratic and join this faction eventually. Another Imperial Civil War in nationalist South Africa. Pro-imperial elements in nationalist South Africa have risen up in open revolt against the government, demanding the immediate return of the nation as a dominion of the British Empire. The situation has now escalated to full-on civil war, and the South African government has accused Britain of supplying the insurgents with modern weapons and munitions they require, which the British government has categorically denied. Again, the text bomb underhanded tactics. Indeed. But whereas if the Canadian Popular State loses war, it'll just become a government in exile. Might interfere with some of the ability to industrial focuses. They'll be fine. As a Japanese government in exile, sort of fine. They shouldn't be able to join any faction unless they join the Manchurian one, I suppose. So, yeah. Glad to see a fascist nation disappear, but it does mean the British should be more capable of attacking Japan with control of South Africa. Again. Yeah, Japan's already at war with the British. So I thought. Mexico is just joining in all these offensive wars. Mexico is gone, for what it's worth. Very hard democracy. They're not doing any ideology flips for sure. Yeah, a little thing. The U.S. started very early on the Manhattan Project. I'll definitely have to be wary of getting nuked if I end up at war with them. I'd rather avoid that, being at war with them or getting nuked for that matter. All of that. These guys are undersupplied and probably not well located. I'll pull them here. Here. Great Britain allies Imperial South African, Imperial Loyalists. Yep, they're going to join that war, of course. Hmm. Still only at just about a third comment support. It's growing very slowly. I could hire Earhart at this point. Economic reformer. But yeah, I rather need political power for other things. At least 100 for switching theorists here. I'm probably going to want to hire infantry expert too soon. If there's any chance that the Civil War looks like it's slowing down. Or Sproul, Cass expert. Mob decisions, anti-democratic raids. Got a lot too. Get various things I could tech, naval wise. I'm gonna eventually need 1940 heavy ship hulls or deck conversions. Either one gives me a dockyard eventually, but I might be producing the battleships, so I don't want to lock them in yet with inferior tech. Deck conversions it is. This would be useful for a navy bit at some point. I can always assign it to Deutsche Werk. Well, Interestingly, if I'd gotten those obsolete Nazi ships, I could have converted them to convert carriers eventually. But if I'm doing carriers, probably not some slap shot job. I'll probably have dedicated carriers. It's gonna be something only for a very late war situation. One thing I do have is I have a decision. I haven't done it ever. I can make early cruiser hulls out of convoys, and then of course I can turn that into deck conversion carriers. So I can actually turn convoys into aircraft carriers in 2 steps. Something to maybe consider if I really need something in a hurry. The war in the Amazon is over. Looks like Ecuador not only kept the area that Peru was trying to grab, it reclaimed Laredo, which it didn't have. Peru lost badly. Curiosity, but not, well, I guess democracies might be a little easier to turn communist than fascist. They're probably less likely to raid. Plus Peru is of it taking a spirit for a while of increasing fascist support. But also can turn them by election in a really desperate situation where nothing else works. Of course, they're more likely to ally with the states, which could go after me. Oh yeah, I'm tempted to take the last level of Army Doctrine now. But I'm thinking I might be better waiting off the Civil War and not giving that to the other side. Especially reinforce rate, which is great for avoiding getting divisions worn down. Innovative advancements. Research bonus for artillery. Or is that just for specifically super heavy howitzer? I don't know. That'd be self-propelled. For anyone who's aware of what warfare looks in the modern era, artillery never went obsolete. It still sees use. Like, you can find footage of American troops firing artillery shells in Iraq in like 2003. It's definitely being used in Ukraine these days. So those who proclaim tanks to be everything, nope, artillery absolutely continue to be used. It's more often self-propelled these days because industrial technology is so advanced. It's more affordable to make, but not always. Sometimes it's still towed. Very close to needing to pull the trigger on anti-democratic raids. I think I timed it. I have to come right after forming the intelligence wing. guess at that point it'd be 65 days to revolt, but then they'll add 60 more, 2 on state decisions, so give or take 5 days, that would be the deadline. But it was also maybe going to do the Red Front Fighters League, and that, well, another 15. I gotta remember. And there should be enough time with heading into through the Mossland. Oh, lovely. So I'm 1 cast short. There was an air accident. I don't have a replacement. That stinks, but I'm going to lose half the air wing or more when the Civil War breaks out anyhow. Let's see. 66. So really 126 days to the Proletarian Revolution. Yeah, I should have enough time to industrialize the Mossland. And then this, which will effectively bump up to 141. Yeah, just enough time to reorganize the National Volksarmee. Literally 1 day before. And now these only add 15 days each, not 30. Shoot. So 95. No, I don't have time for that. Just enough time for 2 35-day focuses. Right. Red Fighters League, and then reorganize the army. It's interesting is the commander advisor cost bit. That's actually relevant because I've got Lutz here, who is going to make a combined arms specialist for the military soon. And then eventually expert when he gains enough skill. But if I appoint him as a specialist, and I have that discount, that's a little bit of extra political power even. Anyhow. The text for this focus, by the way, the Red Front Fighters League was a paramilitary organization affiliated with the movement during the Weimar Republic. Under the fascist regime, they bravely fought back both police and other oppressors. In the same fashion as our old regime usually employed, the Red Front Fighters League were banned for this. It is time we bring them back. And it gets makes Thalman war support buff and militia attack defenses organization. He's already assigned as advisor, and I assume I'll get some militia. This give me at least at least 6 militia units just from this focus, and there may be others that would spawn already, so that will just give me a little more of an edge in the Civil War. But also give me some communism support and base war support, which will help too. Well, at least Saxony is taking the neutrality focus, which means they'll go deterrence. They'll have this done before the Civil War, so they'll lose it. Since I believe they'll get stuck in a war. But deterrence is... Yeah, deterrence is useful for faster military factory construction speed, mainly. Also forts and such. When they gain more build slots through tech, which they don't have any industrial tech right now. If I build military factories in their territory, I get that bonus for building it, so it's not useless. Still rather have the communist focus as an extra manpower, but whatever. So 30 days on map decisions and 30 from... Alright, this is the day I have to fire the anti-communist raids. Literally, I can't wait one more day. Or sorry, anti-democratic. Communists would be exactly the wrong ones. Because I'm effectively 120 days from the Civil War now, exactly. That should increase the rate, yeah, of communism support being gained. Looks like all the support's being pushed into communist, more or less. propaganda films, the Red Fighters League. It changes to one of my visors. Should have at least 51% war support during the war, even if I'm considered the attacker. If I'm considered the offender, I should have 71%. Well, no. 91% war support, which would be nice. Save here. It's the last I could change focus without loss of time if I really wanted. Can't imagine I would, but trying to prepare my navy. Excuse me. Huh? Could do some support company research. Field hospitals might not be a terrible idea. If the other side decides to build any, they would prevent as much manpower from being destroyed by the war. Also, it can benefit Opel, my automotive manufacturer. So I'll do that. That should bump them up to size 4 when it's complete, or very soon thereafter. Which will allow me to get improved engines in my trucks for speed and reliability at the cost of a little production efficiency. Or I could do all-wheel drive. Yeah, I might just do all-wheel drive in the meantime, since improved engines adds to production cost. Oh, or Continental AG tires, reliability, lower production cost. Yeah, that'd be a good one. If I upgrade the design, if I didn't upgrade the design, it's all relevant anyways. So, yeah. Better tires. Still producing the basic truck. I actually need to cost me 5 army XP. But yeah, I don't have enough trucks, so it's more important to meet the unmet need than to have a little extra breakthrough. I have to have surplus breakthrough thanks to all my planning. Yep, Continental tires it is then. That'll also benefit when I switch to mechanized someday. Field Hospital 1, not worth building, but the other side adds them. I wouldn't mind them depleting the manpower pool a little less. If they even get any built before I finish the war. Should even be able to lock them into Field Hospital 2 tech research before some war breaks out. They do inherit your progress on tech, so check that. At least they did with the last Civil War. Personally, I won't be probably building field hospitals till I have helicopters. Helicopter field hospitals. Helicopter medevac is probably more worth it with a very high trickle back, but I do want to grow the size of my automotive manufacturer. That's actually very high yield. Oh, really? And these guys halt at 98%. I did not notice that. What a. These tanks are not going to be fully trained if I don't. Just going to pre-deploy them now. Same token. Even these infantry, I guess, in a couple days. Now. I apologize if any of you hear that alarm in the background. It is 6:30 a.m. here. It's not my alarm, but nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I do think if the Nazis decide to try and why keep calling Nazis? The military regime. If the military dictatorship tries to refit like any cruisers into carriers during the war, and I take the city, I believe I capture the vessel. So, capture it without having to go to peace conference. It's a minor benefit to taking this now, but I'm doing it more because I didn't want to run a lot of other things that were available. So doing some things like yeah. Another event. Minor test failure. But I gained some breakthrough progress. That's nice. You learn from your failures, I guess. That gets me a little closer to the next time I do a land warfare project. Self-propelled heavy howitzers in particular are useful. Also as getting the V3 guns if I want to build those. I should say super heavy howitzer unlocks the path to that. So is super heavy railway guns, I guess, is depend on that. Self-propelled super heavy howitzers. It's all cool stuff. Very expensive projects, but potentially worth it for volunteers in a civil war. You show up with like a super heavy tank division in a Polish civil war. Or no, Poland, you'd probably struggle to fill the volunteer limit, but in Lithuania, that's going to pretty much guarantee the side you're saying volunteers to wins, even if it's incredibly cost ineffective. You can't. There's a limit to how many divisions you can send. It's not like you can swamp them with 50 volunteers. It's like usually like for a tiny country, they have like 3 or 4 divisions. All right, so it's effectively about 35 days in the public descent. I mean, sorry, not in public descent. 38, 53 days to revolution if I didn't do anything. So I'm gonna have to do those on-map decisions soon. Factories are being built in Holstein, thankfully. And in Dortmund, which should be easy enough to take if I control the Rhineland. It's not like these decisions are free, though. They reduce your resource income, construction speed, and most importantly, you lose access to some of the factories in the state. So that's why I'm delaying that as long as I can. Oh. Ran out of fuel. Wasn't paying enough attention. It's probably hurrying the rate of XP gain for... Yeah, they're not gaining any. Wonder how that's long that's been going on. Soviet oil, but kind of annoyed. I hate paying from partway through a day, so I'm gonna... No, on Halloween. There. Large amount of Soviet oil buying. Well, I should be gaining a little more fuel than I'm consuming. It says 3.8, 3.6. These should go to Stan. These to whatever that is. Why am I not getting any fuel? Fine, one more. Should be gaining fuel. This is actually a real parcel. Maybe the rate of consumption is just being throttled. That's probably what it is. Using every bit I get. Let's look at this. All right. Received 45. Yes, it's being throttled. I could actually use more than I'm importing. Romania is in partial mobilization, but at this point, so I don't mind buying from them. In fact, I'm not going to buy all that from the Soviets because sometimes they, others buy from them. Here, 84% of the need for the army is being met. Actually, I'll send these guys to Holstein. Don't have enough men there. Pilots there. Alright. Subs under recoding repairs in Pomeranian shipyards. So let's destroy there as well. Actually, apparently it doesn't matter much with shipyard because they only have one dockyard available for repairs, but it's not my dockyard. Yeah, it's not very smart about how they apply their dockyards. Oh, they are building convoys. Well, whatever. There's also the ones who try and go fascist. I'm not particularly enamored with them. This puppet has a vengeful industrialist leader. War support, faster infrastructure, civil and military factory construction, but also a little bit of fascism support every day. looking at like 91 days till the Civil War. Could do 235. I could do political commissars as well. That would also increase communism support. Yeah, reorganize the army and then the commissars. The key thing with the commissars is that more divisions will side me in civil war. It even reads that way when you read it says there are those within the ranks that can yet be swayed to our cause, rather than the folly they've been forced to adhere to. We must appoint officers whose responsibility it is to educate the common soldier with the benefits of communism and organize them to ensure loyalty. So, yeah. And what I'm doing now, reorganize the national Volks Armee. Corruption and fascist sentiments still run deep within our army. Oh yeah, corruption was deep in the Nazi military apparatus. That's absolutely true. To prevent dissent and mutiny, we must weed out those that wish us harm. This will leave us with a gaping hole in the ranks. So to ensure people's safety, we must appoint new, loyal generals to lead our brave soldiers in battle, should such actions be needed. It's not great, and it weakens your military a little bit. It's necessary for the next focus down, which importantly gives me a recruitable population factor and cheaper conscription law. And this can be 4 new generals and retired 2 who I think would side against me in the Civil War. Also some command power. Oh, it gave me the militia now. I thought it was going to give me them later. Cool. One of them's got a Hugo Nab. He has a unique looking hat. Looks a lot like Dalman, actually. Interesting. If you model, that's intentional. It's like model after him. They're not fully trained, so I'll definitely take this opportunity to try and get them up to full training levels. Should be able to do it before the war. I guess those militia are probably guaranteed to side me in the war. Yeah, oh I see. So I get 6 militia now and I get 6 more if the Civil War happens. That will side with me. That's nice. Having a dozen extra units that are loyal to me will help. And with the loss of one party popularity, my stability is down 95%. That does make and democratic raids and the stability they provide useful. Actually, it probably fell because of the raids, but raids will get it back up to 100% before the Civil War, at least for a little while. The storm is coming, as the music that's currently playing is called The Storm Coming. That is quite accurate to the situation. Alright, well this video has gone a long time. I guess there's more stuff to do before the Civil War breaks out than I thought, and more stuff to watch. But it's getting close. It should be 96 days, actually, if I do the Commissar's focus before the war. I thought that would be locked by being communist first, but I guess not. Reading the description, it talks about swaying people. So, until next time, this is Northstar, signing off. I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home.